What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Davis. I'm 23 years old, and I'm going to tell you how I started a video production company, and within a year and a half, I made it a six-figure video production company. And before we get into it, this isn't a course you have to buy. I'm not going to charge you any money for any of the information I give you. You just need your time, really. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how I did this in 4 steps, and each step kind of has like its subcategories. But we'll start with step 1, which is gear. If you're gonna start a video production company and you don't have gear, you're obviously gonna have to get gear. And when I started this at like 21-ish years old, I was almost 22, I didn't have any money. I was actually bartending at the time. I was bartending and living in the same apartment building that the bar was attached to. Yeah, I didn't have any money, and I had just dropped out of school because I was like, you know, I'm gonna kind of bet on myself and do this video production thing. So the way I went about acquiring gear, a lot of people aren't gonna like this. A lot of people are usually advised against this, but I went into debt for it. It's an easy way to put it. I tried to play my cards as smart as I could, and I got all the zero interest. I got PayPal zero interest. I had 2 credit cards that were zero interest as well. And so with those 3 zero interest cards and PayPal, I bought the necessary gear that I needed. I bought the gear that I needed. I bought a computer that I needed. I bought a good monitor. I spent the money that was necessary. I didn't go crazy overboard. And the gear, it doesn't matter what you get, Canon, Sony, Fuji, it's all really, really good by now. So if you have money saved up and you want to buy some gear straight out of your bank account, that's totally fine. But if you were like me, I was bartending, I was barely making any money to pay rent, and you need to get gear now, go with the zero interest route, just pay it on time. And personally, like, I bought a pretty large amount of gear because I got drone, I got the whole works. And once the zero interest ran out, I placed that credit onto another zero interest credit card. So if you're smart with it and you don't just keep acquiring more and more interest, if you just make a lump sum purchase and then when it runs out, you place that credit onto another credit card, I feel like that's the best route for people that don't have a lot of money. You know, you kind of play the game of the credit cards. So a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. You know, I did it. I bet on myself. It obviously worked out. It's just up to you to assess if you need to take that risk or not take that risk. That's totally up to you. Okay, and then for step 2, we're going to move on, is going to be finding your niche. So whatever work you want to do inside videography and cinematography, if you want to do documentaries, if you want to do music videos or weddings, the best possible thing that you can do for you starting out is acquire your gear and then go do free work. And there are a lot of people that will also vote against doing free work. You know, you need to do what you're worth, and you know that your time is money. But at the same time, when you're starting out, if you do more free work, you're gonna have more experience. So then in the future, you can charge more. And it's really hard for companies and couples and people to pay you a good amount of money for work that you've never really done before. So if you really want to start a videography business, my challenge to you, honestly, is do 15 to 20 projects of free work. That's what I did. I bought all my gear. In the first summer, I did friends' weddings. I did families' weddings. I was going around my small town. I did a couple gym promos. There are businesses in your town that if you just walk in and say, hey, I want to do a promo and I'll do it for free. I'm just trying to learn and get more experience. They're not gonna say no. You know, it's free marketing for them and it's good experience for you. And in the long run, if you do 15 to 20 projects of free work, you're gonna have this much experience versus if you did 5 projects of paid work, you're gonna have maybe this much experience. And doing all this free work really allows you to find your style, find your niche, figure out what you wanna do inside of that. So if you go do 5 free weddings and you're like, man, weddings are not for me, and then you need to go do 3 free music videos, you're like, dude, I love music videos. I want to do these forever. So at the end of doing these 15 to 20 projects, you have a giant portfolio for people. So as soon as you walk up to a client, you say, hey, this is what I charge. Here's my work. It matches up. And they're not even going to question the charge. You know, they're going to say, oh yeah, his work is quality. He's obviously done a lot of it. We'll hire him. And also inside of the free work, it kind of leads me into the third point, which is connections. So while you're doing all these free jobs, you're definitely going to develop connections with people. So if you do a bunch of weddings, you're going to work with wedding photographers as well by your side. And I cannot stress this enough. It is so important that you make friends with people that you're working with. I don't care if you're not a people person, you need to be one, because these people that are doing these paid gigs and they're photographers, or you go on set with a music video and there's a production agent there, you need to be friends with these people because they'll get you more gigs in the future. And obviously don't be fake, be yourself, be exactly who you are, but play nice, don't be rude. Don't expect like anyone owes you anything because you're now a videographer with a camera. So now that you've acquired all these connections, put those connections to work. Reach out to those photographers that you did weddings with and say, hey, I'm starting to charge now. I would really love if you could reach out to your clients for me and, see if anyone has any weddings they'd like to hire me for. Or if you did some music videos, you can reach out to previous clients that you did videos for and say, hey, if you have any friends that need music videos, let them know that I would like to do more work. And I guarantee if you were an amazing person to work with, you provided some good quality content for them, they're gonna say yes. So that in itself, without even spending any money for marketing on Instagram or Facebook, you're already marketing yourself because you've worked with people that are gonna spread your name for you, which I feel like in the long run, word of mouth goes so much farther than any ad could. And one awesome tip I would give you, and I recently started doing this and it really does help, any photographers or like production agents or anyone that you've worked with in the past, if you tell them, hey, if you give my name out to people, anyone that I book for any project, you will get 10% of, you will get bookings like crazy. Because not only were you a delight to work with in that process, they're gonna give it out, they're gonna give your name out because they want free money. It's so easy for them to say, hey, I already have you guys booked for June. You should also hire this videographer because he does great work. That couple books you and then that person gets 10% of the money. It's a no-brainer for them. And 10% of your profit, like if you charge $2,000 for a music video or a wedding video, 10% of that isn't a giant chunk of everything you made. So for me, I think it's really important to offer people an incentive to give your name out. And it just helps you grow as a business because then you're getting more bookings, you're getting paid more, and you're building your portfolio that much more. Which brings me to my fourth and final point, which is start slow. So I know the fourth tip might gonna be like, what? Start slow. What I mean by that is when you start charging money after you've done 15 to 20 free projects, after you start charging money, start charging decently low, like $500 to $1,000. And I know even starting that does seem like, what, $500 to $1,000 for one project? That's insane. But once you start getting deeper into this, you're gonna start figuring out like, oh, I can charge $5,000 for this gig. So just make sure to start slow, start low, because the more projects you have in a year, you're gonna have more experience, you're gonna have that much more edge on your other competition that you can start raising your prices and no one's gonna question it. Because at the end of the day, starting a company, it's not a rat race anymore, it's a turtle race. So dedicating a year and a half of your life to doing a lot of free work, to developing your style and figuring out your niche of exactly what you want to do and making all these connections. After a year and a half is over, you're going to be making 6 figures or more. And I promise you can do it. I started my company in a town of like 6,000 people. It's not a big town at all. So whether you're in a city or a small town, you can do this. So just to run it through, get some gear, start doing free work, make connections, and then start slow. That's exactly what I did. And even in 2020, we're looking at our most profitable year as a business, which is crazy because even in 2020, there's a global pandemic going on. And it seems like a lot of people are losing their jobs, or losing a lot of money. And a lot of creatives are losing out on a ton of money as well because they put a lot of their eggs in one basket, which if you really want to develop a videography business that is profitable, I highly suggest putting your eggs in a bunch of different baskets. So personally, our company, Middle House, we do a ton of commercial work and we do a ton of wedding work. And just having those two separate streams of income is amazing because we work with commercial groups that we get paid every single week. We do weekly content for them on top of just random commercial work that we get emails like, hey, can you come do a promo for our ice cream shop? And then we also have weddings where we book around 25 weddings a year. So just having those two separate streams of income makes it really easy for us to, okay, if this stops, then we still have this one going. So if you're someone looking to start your own videography business and you're starting from scratch, you have nothing, and you work a bar job, I was a bartender like me. If you follow these steps, it is taking a risk on yourself. But if you're persistent and you work really hard and this is exactly what you want, put the time in. It was a lot of bartending for 10 hours a day and then going home and editing at night and then on weekends going and shooting. It's not for everybody. The advice I gave isn't exactly orthodox. It's not what some people would do in their own situations and circumstances, but it's what I did. I took a bet on myself. I took that risk and it paid off because I worked really hard. It was a grind. It wasn't easy, but if it's really what you want, you can do it. Anybody can do it. That's the crazy thing. I didn't believe that. And I was honestly gonna go back to school and just get a 9-to-5 job. But if you're persistent at exactly what you want to do in your life, you can do it. and it's insane. So thank you so much. I hope this advice is helpful to somebody that was looking at taking that next step or taking that risk on themselves. Take that step, take that risk, work really, really hard, and it'll pay off. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, please comment down below. And we are going to be uploading more business advice and kind of videography advice in the future. So please subscribe and stay tuned for that. All right, we will see you in the next one. That was stupid.